our officials from legislature, good morning. I think we must start. We must just apologize of being late to call the department, but it was for the good cause, because we were not sitting here drinking tea, eating breakfast. We were just robust in the engagement. So you are more than welcome to participate. Be free. No one is going to be hurt. We are going to build this government together. I'm with honorable members here. I think the item 2 is clearly stated that we must just introduce ourselves, because I think there is these changes of officials and changes of honorable members. You can see some are adopted today. We did adopted one of the honorable members just for the committee to correct. Starting from me, I'm Honorable Gupa Mabuza, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development. Yes, we can introduce yourselves.
Chairperson, morning, MEC and the department. My name is Gloria Muniz, a member of the Portfolio Committee.
Morning, MEC and the department and the honorable members. I'm Honorable Machomani Daly, the opted member for today. Daly Machomani. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Chairperson, and to all the members in the House. I'm Veli the 7th Jack, Lord Shivamu, a member of the committee.
Thanks, Chair. My name is Wesley Maringa. I'm a member of the Portfolio Committee. I think, Chair, I think you did well to say let's introduce itself again. We have not seen them in a very long time, so it's only fair. Thank you very much, Chair.
Officials from the legislature, can you please introduce yourselves?
Thank you, Chair. It's from the department. My name is
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer Shivamu, Committee Coordinator.
MEC, can you introduce yourself and the team?
You don't have to move them, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Good morning. My name is Nakedi Kekana, the MEC for the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, Honorable MEC, colleagues. My name is Mpoma Shamba. I'm the acting head of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson and members of the committee and my colleagues. My name is Mariam Katili, the Chief Financial Officer.
Morning, Honorable Chair, Honorable members, colleagues. My name is Jethro Nwata, Chief Director of the Group of Development and Pharmaceutical Services.
engaging for information and simple.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, honorable members, colleagues and community.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Moose. Thank you, honorable members and MEC. We are on roll call and apologies, which I believe that the roll call is circulated. If there are any apologies, can you just give us the apologies?
I received apologies from 5 members, as I indicated. They are Honorable Hal, Honorable Mayi, Honorable Matlo, Honorable Lewin, and Honorable Mukara. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, MEC. If you do have any apologies on your side.
On my side, I think we are full.
You are full house. Thank you for that, and let it be every day when we call, you must just be full house, because some of the questions are related to different positions in your department, so that you can clearly just respond to the honorable members. Item number 4, Honorable MEC, is the briefing by the department on the resolution tracking. After the resolution tracking, I think honorable members will just assist me if in each and every report can you zoom in, or can they report all, give us all the reports, and then we came after. I think honorable members can just as report by report. Okay. After the resolution tracking, we'll go to question and comments. Then after the 24-25 fourth quarter report, question and comment. After the 25th, 26th APP and budget, question and report. Over to you, Honorable MEC. Okay, before that, Honorable.
I know that my colleague has proposed that we handle it report after a report. I'm just a bit worried about, imagine if Honorable Jack is to comment on all subjects. We are not in a hurry, but I think sometimes it's fair that we allow the department to go all over it. And I'll tell you my reasons why I have a contrary view from what the Honorable Minister has raised. This is the same department, and the issues often at times are interlinked, others are locked together. It may just be resolution tracking, which is still going to appear on the fourth quarter report. So I'm thinking it's fair for the department to take us through all of those, so that when we come back, for instance, on your resolution tracking, we're going to comment on it, and a certain component is still going to show its face when we were dealing with the fourth quarter report. Now we're going to come back again and speak on the same item. I'm not sure if I'm trying to justify my request, but in principle, I'm of the view that the department should go through 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3. When you come in and comment, you must then at least direct your comment that relates to the resolution tracking and a report that relates to the fourth quarter report, and then finally we go to the budget eventually. But that's my submission, Chair. I may fail to put proper into context my justification for saying let's go all over them, but I think that's the best way we can handle this thing and also manage timelines. Thank you, Chair.
To write all your questions and comments, because I'm just saying, Honorable Minister and all the honorables, let's allow them to give us all the reports, and after that we get to question and comments. Thank you, and thank you for understanding. I was saying, Honorable Minister, and I saw you keep it quiet. I say you understand, but I think I know you are not a difficult person. You understand. I know you. I know you very much. Thank you, MEC. Honorable Minister is understanding. Honorable Minister, and this committee it's a very good committee. These members are very good members. We all the same path. So can you, Honorable MEC, give us the reports, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bella Mabuza, the portfolio chairperson, and members of the portfolio committee present here today, the HOD and the Victoria from the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, all the officials from the Premier's office, from the legislature, of course, and the researchers. Let me take this opportunity to request the HOD to lead us in terms of reports. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Good morning, Honorable Chairperson and members once more. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm going to take you through the reports. We are having 3 reports as per the agenda items. We will start with item number 4.1, which talks to the progress made on the resolution, tracking resolution to date, as at the 19th of June. On the committee resolution number 1, which talks to the challenges that are being faced by the department on the CPA, precisely the example of given is for the Vidiela and Manzika. In terms of the progress made, in being mindful that the CPA Act, it is the sole responsibility of the Department of Land Reform and Rural Development. We therefore timeously interact with our sister department in making sure that we are also on par in terms of the mandate that they are executing. So since the last report for the Provincial Shared Service Center, dated 17 January 2025, the report stipulated that there were no incidents of the consent group approaching the provincial NEC with matters relating to the CPAs. However, the function of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development in terms of the 2 projects, the detailed report would be, it's incorporated in this report, and the committee will be taken through the report. On the Matsika project, as I've already alluded, in terms of the challenges precisely on our functions as the Department of Agriculture in providing agricultural support. Matsika project had a disaster around 2022 wherein there was fire which has destroyed 77 hectares. Since that period, the farm has not been in operation, and currently it's because of the conflicts that are amongst the CPA, or sorry, not the CPA, the beneficiaries, and also the issue of ESCOM that has been disconnected due to non-payment of the electricity bill. The entire report, there is an attachment which has been forwarded for the members to a detailed report in that respect. On resolution, checking resolution number 2, which talks to the list of farmers that we had supported on production inputs. Today, we had provided production inputs to a total of 12,521 farmers, and the list is attached in terms of the inputs that we had distributed to those farmers. On CASP today, we had assisted 54 CASP-related projects in terms of agricultural support programs. Taking resolution number 3, which talks to the list of the state of the old farms that are released out, as well as the allocations. As indicated in my previous statement, this is the sole responsibility of the Department of Land Reform and Rural Development. We had requested this information today. There was no report that has been provided for us. On the filling of vacant posts, the concern that there is a slow snail in terms of complying with the turnaround time of filling of vacant posts. To date, the post of the head of the department, which was advertised, there was interviews which was conducted on the 11th of June. We're still awaiting for the results. And as a department, we had re-advertised the post of the Chief Director, Agricultural, Regulatory and Technology Development. The progress to date, the shortlisting has been conducted. The interview is still underway. And to date, the department has interviewed 31 posts from circular number 3, wherein 15 letters were issued to the suitable candidates, and 7 out of 15 they had already reported. So in summary, this is a work in progress. Allow me, Chairperson, not to go line by line, but just to indicate the challenges at our disposal. The challenges at our disposal is that there was a migration of the e-recruitment system from the old system to the new system. During that time, that was in the beginning of the financial year. Therefore, as a department, as you know, that our applications are being submitted through the e-recruitment system, we were unable to download the applications. We had quite a number of engagement with the Office of the Premier because this function is centralized at that level. Until such time, we were only given an authorization to access the files only on the 17th of June to access the applications. So that is the contributory factor that has actually delayed the whole process. So we are a bit behind the turnaround time in terms of the schedule, but we have made an acceleration plan so that we can be able to speed up. It is just unfortunate because the only period that we were given, it was only for 3 weeks. And we've got massive of applications that are there on the e-recruitment, and only 3 practitioners for the whole province, including the district, they were given that access to download the applications. So obviously they will not fit. We have made another request to the Office of the Premier so that they can be able to extend the access period for us to be able to download all the applications. The department is envisaged, we received the approval of 152 posts for the recruitment plan of the current financial year. So we are envisaged to issue that, issue the advert by the 3rd of July. We are just awaiting for the quality assurance to be finalized by the Office of the Nguni cattle database. We do have a report attached in terms of the progress made, but the bone of contention is that at this present moment we no longer having this Nguni project in operation. There is a dissolvement and non-renewal of the trust due to the ending of this period, and the project has been adopted by the department, although we are not using the same model of the then Nguni loan scheme, which was being implemented before. But the report is attached. For any other further information, Mr. Mujapudi is here as the director responsible for the Nguni loan scheme. He can be able to speak to the report. On resolution tracking number 6, on the disaster risk management, which had been, as a department, we are normally implementing as and when the disaster strikes. We will continuing to embark on early warning information and advisory services to the sector regarding the disaster management. And the detailed report, it is also attached in terms of the number of the farmers who were assisted in the previous financial year during the outbreak, during the disaster. That was in relation to the outbreak of African armyworm, and the disaster as a result of drought and etc. etc. So the report is there. It also has the financial implication. How far is the department in terms of the scope resolution? That for the period of 2014, 2015, 2021, 2022, the total number of the resolutions were 59, and 45 of them have already been resolved, which translates to 76%. The unresolved resolutions are 14, which represents 24%. And on tracking resolution, the detailed report still is attached. And on the tracking resolution number 8, which talks to the department submitting the financial report monthly. We are submitting the financial reports on monthly basis, and non-financial reports we also submit as well quarterly to the Treasury and also to legislature. On the departmental, the list of the departmental projects, infrastructure projects, the report is attached, and most of the projects are at the retention because it's a detailed report in terms of the status quo, while others, they are at the advanced stage of being completed in the second quarter. On those contractors who are not adhering to the contractual obligation, as a department, we have issued the default letters. The ESCOM issue, wherein we are expected to give an update on the engagement with the ESCOM regarding the electricity connections and copper disabled irrigation. There was some engagement, and now as we are speaking, the electricity has been reconnected at the irrigation project. The progress on Tombisilika and Mazivandila, it is also in our package, unless if the members they want me to go through the progress report one by one. that is on the renovation of Mazibandila and Dombiseleka College. I'm not sure, Chairperson, you can advise.
I think you can just brief.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. On the Dombiseleka project, which relates to the Dombiseleka 6-story building, we are currently on the completion phase of the project on phase 1, and phase 2 it is on partial completion. Phase 1 and the security entrance gate is at 99% completion. The remaining works which is for the branding of the gate is about to be completed. We are envisaging that this project will be completed by the end of the second quarter. The irrigation project at Dombiseleka and the phase 1 of the hostels for the girls has already been completed. On the animal handling facility, the contractor has started delivering material in June 2025, and therefore the laborers will be procured through the EPWP services by the department. On the renovation of the kitchen and dining wall, it has already commenced, and the contractor is currently on site. There is a significant progress made so far. The works that has been concluded, it's the electrical work, painting and ablution facilities, and the backup generator. And the scope of the work will be completed in the next quarter, second quarter. On the sewer repairs, the project has been completed in terms of the manholes and piping has already been replaced. At Mazibandila College, the security entrance gate that has been reconstructed. Here we are acknowledging those are the projects that I have already indicated that there is a very slow pace in terms of the contractor adhering to a delivery agreement. It is unfortunate, and this is the one that I had highlighted that we have issued the default letter. That is in relation to the security entrance, because there is no, only the contractor is thinking is at the 25%, and it's a multi-year project. We started last financial year. On the water purification, the construction of reservoir has already been completed, and there is an additional reservoir which was cleaned to increase the capacity of water storage in the college. On the drilling, borehole drilling and equipping, we have equipped 5 boreholes and already commissioned them. On the pump station, the project has been completed with the mainline pipes installed, pump house and pump house installed. On the greenhouse nursery, the contractor is on site and the project will be completed. Was supposed to have been completed in the previous financial year. Only few outstanding work is left. The hostel beds of 145 has already been delivered, and the curtains for 145 rooms has already been delivered. Therefore, the work has been completed. In terms of the maintenance of the fixing of the room for old hostels is done. The broiler, installation of broilers for hostels is done already. The material for the hostel and the staff residence has been procured and delivered. And therefore, the departmental artisans will be able to do the remaining work, the actual work in the current financial year. This is for Mazibandila. Taking resolution number 12, where we were requested to provide information on the update of the agri-parks, on whether those agri-parks are functional or not functional. We had sourced the report from the FPSUS, from the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development. Oh, sorry, it's no longer agriculture, they are divorced. So as at the 19th June, here the FPSU from Plaisdom, the management contract between the department and secondary cooperatives not finalized. The support of the farmer production support units towards functionality. The secondary cooperative has been registered, and currently we are providing mechanization and production input support to feeder enterprises. Here, we, as a department, we do have our role in terms of making sure that we are providing agricultural production, agricultural support in those development support in those agricultures. At Bedford, the contract between the department and the secondary cooperatives is also not yet finalized, and it is towards the its functionality. The cooperative has been registered. We are also providing mechanization support to those to feeder enterprises. At Masalang, currently it's partially in operation under GRASP secondary cooperatives, servicing farmers from 4 primary cooperatives, and the contract is not yet being finalized. It's the support is towards its functionality. It's functional, and we are also providing support in terms of mechanization. And on second resolution number 13, which talks to the report on the contractor appointed as SLM Sons Farm. The status quo is that the contractor has not yet completed the project, citing the reason of awaiting delivery of the material, which he has still ordered that material. We had also issued the default letter due to the slow pace of the contractor. Taking resolution number 14, the underspending 17 million that we have had under expenditure. The same thing, the contractor who is responsible for implementation of the project, SLM Sons, the default letter has been issued to the contractor. In terms of Leboakomu, Abatua, Mashashani, Hechari, the role of the department, we assist in the supply of the poultry stock, and as a department we are currently refurbishing 5 broiler houses, which is work in progress. We had allocated an amount of 8 million to refurbish those broiler houses. The plan, the Zibidiela Citrus Estate, we are currently busy with the maintenance of water infrastructure, wherein we are implementing it through irrigation term contract. And the service provider is expected to be appointed on the 31st of July 2025. There was a special resolution passed by the CPA, the Atari Communal Property Association, on the 1st of June 2025 to approve the agricultural master plan as a guiding tool to revitalize the estate. And currently there is work that has been done by the 2 lessees on the estate with the rental income of 3.1 million since July 2024 to date. The CPA is currently engaging 4 investors, interested investors, so that they can be able to enter into to an agreement and implement the master plan. Although we have not yet got a concurrence of which investor are they going to sign an agreement with, they're still on the engagement level. The taken resolution number 17, the criteria used to select smallholder farmers. Mr. Nawata will speak to that. The farmer database register. We are using the survey 123 to capture our farmers. Mr. Nawata will also give detail in terms of the disaggregated data, the number of farmers that we are currently having on the database. On the progress made on the Makubati estate, the governance structure is already being established in terms of the project steering committee and the project implementing committee. They assigned terms of reference, and there is a procurement policy that has already been finalized. There is a draft cooperation agreement between the department and Makubati Black Bank Ltd, which is in place, and the engagement are underway to finalize the cooperation agreement, which actually it will inform the implementation of the project in alignment with the RAPAC policy and on the match funding on infrastructure development. The draft CA2 has to be vetted by our legal team, so it's work in progress before it could be signed. The remedial action on tracking resolution number 20 that the department is taking, especially for those contractors which are not performing. We, as I had already alluded, that we are following the contractual agreement that we issue the default letter, and in an instant that the contractor is still not performing as per the schedule, therefore the department will have to be forced to terminate that contract. The number of beneficiaries which are being assisted by the department in terms of farmer support policy and applicants that are not found to be related to departmental officials, and those which are disqualified at the screening stage of the application in progress. This process is being guided by the farmer support policy, and the applicants who are found to be related to the departmental officials are disqualified in the screening stage of the application process, which is it is being done at the district office. In terms of the number of farmers who are being supported and those who have been disqualified, Mr. Nawata will speak to that. On the SOPA, state of the provincial address, wherein there was a commitment that we're going to support Karoso Pty in terms of the procurement of the agro-processing equipment. The work we had already started with the procurement administrative processes. This will be implemented by the leader, a subsidiary. They are assisting the department in facilitating the procurement process for us to be able to get the agro-processing equipment. In relation to Memechaka Wendy, who is also in the state of the province address, we are currently in the process of trying to assist her, so that we can be able to debush the other portion of the farm which has been allocated to her. We are just awaiting for the issue of compliance in terms of the CARA and the NEMA Act. before we start with the division process. We had already done the inspection and the whole team is on course. In terms of the list of farmers who are always getting support, through farmer support, Emerpan Red Meat was cited as one of the projects that is always receiving the support through CASP by the department. We just want to clarify that this is a multi-year project. Therefore, it is also going to continue in the current financial year. We are supporting the project with its own infrastructure, and we continue providing agricultural technical support, advisory support. The number of the small-scale farmers who were trained in the 2023, 2024 and 2024-2025 financial year, we had trained 1,935 small-scale farmers, and in 2024-2025 we have trained 2,090 farmers. On the question on whether it's more in relation to the other one that I had already alluded in terms of the farmers who had received support during the disaster, we have distributed production inputs and chemicals during the first quarter, which were procured in the month of March 2025 in the previous financial year. And 173 farmers has benefited during this quarter so far, in addition to the earlier report that was provided. On the provision of the stock water and fencing, in the current financial year, Emerpan will be supported with 54 kilometer border fencing on the remaining 3 farms and water reticulation on 5 farms. This is the end of the taken resolution with the outstanding of the one that I said. Mr. Nelson has provided more information through your chairperson and minister. Before I move to the next slide.
So after we have advertised, then there is a screening process which could take place in the district. That's when now we are able to look into all those farmers that may have relatives and all those things. As it goes up to the province, that process shall have done justice in terms of those farmers who may have relatives and so on. So the list that is available at the provincial level is clean. It's of farmers who are having no relations with officials. And the farmer register, we are using survey 123, and we register farmers as and when they come, because it's a continuous process. So before we can assist you as a farmer, we'll register you on the system, then update the farmer database. So automatically the survey 123 is updating farmer register, farmers that have registered. Because that's the strategy that we adopted, because if we don't do that, we have to wait, maybe have a stock taking or census in a year or so. But as and when, because there are emerging farmers who are just coming, and new farmers who are just coming, so we allow them to come in the survey 123 And I think I've covered this is another one. Okay. Let me start by saying up to now we have 30,000 farmers registered on the Survey 1. And now we already assisted more than 12,000 farmers in terms of our farmer support policy. This includes advice as well as tangible. Thank you.
The number of departmental infrastructure projects, it is on resolution 9, it's an attached document. We have supported 115 projects on infrastructure related support. Chairperson, I'll then move to the next item. Which is 4.2. I'm going to take the meeting through the fourth quarter report. We have summarized it. Presentation layout would encompasses the introduction, the legislative mandates, the strategic focus, the summary of the APP, the strategic risk management, and the summary of the allocation, budget allocation. As a department, we are finding our mandate from the three keys GNU priorities, which talks to making sure that we drive the inclusive growth and job creation. And on priority number 2, our department has got a mandate in terms of making sure that we contribute in terms of the reduction of poverty and the tackling of the high cost of living, as well as making sure that we are making sure that we build a capable, ethical, and developmental state through professionalizing of our human resources. Thank you. No, thank you. My apology. I think I had moved to
The APP.
to the APP. My sincere apologies. All right. Thanks, Mr. Mashian. Oh, the presentation outline will talk to the summary of the performance in quarter 4 and the areas where we did not do well in quarter 4. In terms of the summary, the overall achievement of the targets had improved from 71%, which was in the third quarter. In quarter 4, the department has performed at 91% due to the catch-up plan or the improved, which reflects the improved performance by program 2 and 3. The number of programs which had not performed, it's 4. The other 4 programs had performed at 100%. But however, it is important that I need to highlight that it is only within the 4th quarter, but some of the targets had already been achieved in the previous quarters. Moving to the slide number 6, which talks to, that one is just a graphical, the same information that I had already indicated. On program number 2, the indicators, performance indicators which did not perform, it is is on indicator 2.2.1, which talks to the number of hectares on agricultural land rehabilitated. And the target had already, the annual target had already been achieved in the previous quarter. So it doesn't mean that if we did not perform in the fourth quarter, the annual performance reflects the underperformance. On indicator 2.2.4, on the number of communities adopted on the land care practices, you could see that our target was 20. Our actual achievement is 5. The same annual target had already been achieved in the previous quarter. On 2.3.1, wherein our target was 5 and the actual is 4 on the ecosystem management plan developed, we had also realized the achievement in the previous quarter. That would be the third quarter. Program 3, which talks to the agricultural producer support and development, our target was 135 and the achievement at 134 on the unemployed graduates. This one, it's a positive on us, because as and when we are exposing these unemployed graduates with this program wherein we are providing agricultural enterprise practical skills development, when they get the decent jobs, it is a bonus to us. It shows the effectiveness of a program that we are really providing guidance. Program number 5, which is Research and Technology Development Services. On the number of research presentations made at the peer review events, our target was 2 and we had achieved 1, where we are saying the reason for variance is that the annual target has already been achieved in the previous quarter. On program number 7, which is the agricultural training and education, our colleges, the number of participants trained in skills development programs in the sector, our target is 100, while we had achieved 92, due to the reason that we had already achieved in the third quarter. Thank you very much. I'll then move to the annual performance plan for 2025-2026. I have already spoken to the introduction, and our strategic focus will be looking at the vision and the mission of the department. This is our strategic intent and the values that we adhere as a department in line with the constitutional values and principles, which is section 195, chapter 10, as stipulated. Our institutional policies and strategies over the period of 7th administration, our impact statement as a department is we are committing that we will provide agrarian transformation, economic growth and employment creation, and food security for all. And that is in line with the policy guidelines that you see from the National Development Plan to the Limpopo Development Plan. And those are our enabling policies as and when we are executing our responsibility as a department. I've already spoken to the impact statement, which reflect 5 outcomes that we want to achieve in the current financial year. Outcome number 1, which talks to the good governance and service excellence, increased participation of producers in an integrated value chain, the increased primary production, and climate smart agricultural technologies, as well as the increased skills base of the agricultural sector. We are not having much in terms of the changes of our deliverables. But these are the changes that we had effected from the previous sixth administration in the last year cycle of 2024-2025. You could see on program 1 we do have an additional indicator within financial management, which will actually talk to the spending and payment of invoices. Is the previous one? Can you open the one? The other one? Slide number 7. Can I proceed? And on program 2, our annual target was 20, and the indicators were 20. Now we have got 17. This is as a result of the 3 provincial indicators under engineering services. We no longer have these 3 provincial indicators. On program number 3, we had 18 indicators, and now in the current financial year is 14. This is as a result as well of the 4 provincial indicators which were then amended within the extension and advisory services. On program 4, 9 indicators in 2024-2025, now is 8. We had realigned 1 provincial indicator under veterinary public health. For program 5, we had 7 indicators. We are left with we are having additional 11 indicators, provincial indicators. That is on breeding of livestock, fish breeding stock, technical support on seed certification, and scientific research on the sector under agricultural research. Program number 6, we had 5 indicators. We are now in the 2025-2026 going to have 7 indicators due to the provincial additional provincial output on agriculture, agribusiness commercialization, and agribusiness supported on agro-processing under economic services and agro-processing support. In program number 7, we had 2 now with an additional 1 in the current financial year. That is on the ICT pillars in colleges under education and training program. Program number 8, the status quo remains, nothing has been changed. The department has retabled the APP for 2025-2026 during the retabling of the budget, precisely on program number 3, as and when we were implementing and also having some engagement within the sector, we were then advised to review some of our indicators so that we can be within the national transversal indicators. The changes were made on 3.1.1 on the smallholders. We had adjusted the target and due to the possible opportunity to provide technical advice to the farmers, We also had reviewed the indicator number 3.1.2, which talks to the subsistence producers, adjusted to more farmers to be assisted at that target. We also revised the 3.1.5, which is the red meat on the provision of the producer support on red meat, grain and vegetable commodities. We had also adjusted them due to the cost of production inputs, which we are currently having as a challenge within the sector. On indicator 3.2.2, which is the Farmers' Day, we had adjusted it from 283 to reduced to 131, as I had already alluded that due to the cost effectiveness and the cost containment within our budget. On food security, due to non-availability of the sufficient budget, the indicator 3.3.1, the targets from quarter 3 to 4, we had therefore revised that the targets should then move from first quarter and second quarter and be moved to quarter 3 to 4. As we speak currently, this indicator, it is not budgeted, so we're still trying to source fund from Treasury, which we are having a hope that maybe during budget adjustment will then be given an additional budget. This is just a detailed report, as I had already alluded to my presentation. The third column speaks to the current annual targets, and the last column reflects the previous old targets that we had submitted during the first tabling of our annual performance plan. So it is just a comparative analysis so that the members, chairperson, could be able to see where we had effected some changes. On the key projects within infrastructure, or with over the MTF, you could see in terms of the percentage. For livestock, we'll implement the 36%. For fruit is 7%, and vegetables 48%, and poultry 9%. At a high level, these are the key strategic risks and the mitigation. You know that the country is faced with the climatic conditions, disruptions within which affect our agricultural productivity. And in terms of us to mitigate that, we'll continue providing agricultural advisory technical support, including the research findings. We need to be able to enhance our research so that we can be able to advise our farmers on how to beat the climatic condition challenge at our disposal. And we'll continue to provide disaster relief programs subject to the availability of the budget. The disaster risk reduction and smart technology is an ongoing process in terms of making sure that we capacitate our farmers in how to deal with the climatic disruption, disruptions. The continuous smart agricultural technologies is also being encouraged as and when as a mitigation for us to beat that risk. The deterioration of the agricultural land due through degradation and competing demands. We are encouraging the farmers to cultivate their land under conservation farming practices. We also encourage our farmers to practice the distilling of water and soil conservation structures, and also continue with the rehabilitation of agricultural land. In terms of the declining of the agricultural production due to water scarcity, which is a challenge, especially in the process, it's a limitation. As a department, we are striving towards collaborating with other sectors to establish agricultural infrastructure for water solutions and supply. We are in the economic cluster, we are collaborating with LEADER so that we can be able to deal with this challenge. The advisory support services is being provided to the farmers in terms of the issue of water allocation, and also collaborating with the Department of Water and Sanitation to assist the farmers to have the water rights, yes. The issue of water harvesting techniques, we are also providing that advisory services so that the farmers, they can be able to save water for their produce. As a province, the insufficient economic activities, we continue assisting in providing support to improve compliance with the market requirements on infrastructure, and this is a continuous learning process. We also provide, assist the farmers to encourage them to have linkage with the formal markets in terms of the certification, and also provide support on through RABAC projects, which is one of our policy that would assist the department to contribute in making sure that we secure jobs and also contribute to the GDP of the province. On budget allocation, the department has been allocated in the current financial year 1.9 billion in the 25-26 financial year, which is it is an increase from 1.8 billion which was allocated in the previous financial year. Within the 1.9 billion, we are having 81.8% of the equitable share. For conditional grant, the budget is it's 18.2%. The summary of the allocation in the next slide. Oh, there's a problem. The summary of the allocation in terms of the compensation of employees, did a comparative analysis within the current NPF cycle from 2024-2025, just for the members to see if there was an increase of our budget on those in those years. On RABAC earmark funding, for the current financial year, we had received 32,792,000 with an additional of 10 million for broiler houses, which translates to an earmark funding, the departmental earmark funding of 42,792,000. I therefore recommend that the portfolio committee members note the report with the changes effected as already retabled for the implementation in the current financial year. Thank you.
Thank you, HOD, and thank you for the reports. I don't think there is an official that want to maybe to add on what you have said. The report you've tabled is the report that we have. We saw the report some days before and we were able to went through the report and maybe to identify where we can ask for clarity and comments, questions. I think the honorable members are ready to post those questions to the MEC and to the officials. Now it's your time, honorable members, for question and comment by raising hands so that we are identified to speak. I think I can. Let me just start to Honorable Moss. You'll fall sequentially. I know all of you've got it to the officials. Honorable Moss.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I would just like to know if the MEC can provide a list of the 50 farmers that was selected for the commercialization support, including the locations, the nature of the support provided, and the criteria used for the selection. I think it has been covered in the report. Sorry, I was in and out because of the funeral Romania. How much money was spent on revitalizing Tombi, Seleki, and Matabandila colleges, and what percentage of infrastructure targets have been met, including upgrades, students' accommodation, and staff resourcing. What early warning disaster risk reduction or drought relief systems are in place for the local agriculture sector, and how does the department plan to protect vulnerable farmers from severe climate-related shocks in the 2025-2026 financial year? And what tangible market access initiatives have been launched in the past 12 months to help the smallholder farmers in Limpopo access to local and export market? And how does the department track the income or production increases of these beneficiaries? Thank you, Honorable.
Honorable Chairperson. Let me start with resolution tracking. On the issue of the request that we made of a database on state farms, I think the response was that it was dealt with by the National Department. I heard the HOD, acting HOD say they engaged, but up to so far, there is nothing that has come forth. I just want to put it to you that when we look at our work as well as South Africa, we understand that we are different levels, national, provincial, and local, but we are still one government. So I don't think if we're really making serious follow-up with an intention to bring the report in time, it should be taking us forever. Because even if you say it's at national, the information that we need, it's only for the province where we work in. So we only need the farmers in the province where it's our space and we operate here. So whether it's at national, we still want you to make sure that in a reasonable time you are able to provide such information. It's not satisfactory, in short, what I'm saying. National government or departments, they are not another state, they are still here. Number 2, on resolution 5, just want to understand the issue, the repayment, the language here, repayment. Was it repayment in money or bringing back the monies? And those that are still outstanding, because it's something like, I forgot the figure. Even if the program itself has come to an end or it's closed, but the outstanding still belong to the state. If there is giving or surrendering, I believe there should be a process that has to be followed and a conclusion it's drawn. Then to say we were left with repayment was up to this, whether money or physical animals, and then this is the remaining ones. This is how it has been concluded. Is it written off? What happened? Number 9, resolution number 9. It's related to infrastructure project. I think I will also couple it with number 13. You know, the performance of the department. Tina, we are not interested in the one who you have appointed to do the job. We take it as your performance. The performance is not on in some of the project. And when you look at the 1 year SL and Sons, the completion date keeps on moving forward. As we speak now, the report indicates that in the first quarter ends this month. I don't know if tomorrow, if we decide to go there, we'll find the project completed. I don't know. You will be the one who will answer that one. If we go there on the 30th of June, the project will be completed, waiting or being handed over. And also, the report was also indicating the issue at the variation orders, which amount to 1.7. Still on the same example that I am giving. And many other projects, once there is delay in completion, a lot of money will be spent. It becomes a cash cow, that project. So we are not really satisfied about such a performance. I believe, as the department, we need to look at it jealously so and guard against non-performance, because it costs money. On the issue, fourth quarter performance, there is another one here, small farm holder selection. The criteria, the question was asking about the criteria. I just want you to understand, for us to ask about criteria, it's because as and when we go out for oversight, there are certain projects that you will look at and you see here, you don't understand why it was chosen. You don't MEC, I know you have a HOD, chief directors, managers, and all those down to the ground there. But if these people, they bring or choose whoever is a beneficiary in any program, we need to guard jealously that people who deserve, they are the people who receive. I know I have seen even the response on whether there were relationships with officials for those who benefited, when they related. a relationship is not only my family, my brothers and my mothers and whatever. I can have a closer friend who's dearly more than my own sister. And any other thing, we know it, we are people who have been here for too long. This question, I think we started to worry about when we visited SL and Sons. Not to say the person is not deserving or the farm is not deserving, but you see a person who's able to build a house equal to the one that we are building for him, and he's doing it faster than us. You start to ask yourself, to start with, what made us to come here when there are others who are still low, poorly, need much support than what you see, and the project is not also completing. So, you know, things will run in our minds. Want to understand what is it exactly, what is happening. Another one, I think I still remember, we visited Waterberg after the disasters. There is one farm that we visited, and the owner there did not even, or he had most important things in Gauteng than to meet the portfolio committee on agriculture and rural development. When we arrived there, the person was gone because we were delayed. It was not like we were delayed by 3 hours. It's not like we were delayed by a day. If you know my bread was buttered here, honestly, you will have some sort of level of respect to say, I must see them. And I remember very well when we were there, we even said we don't care whether it was a multi-project, which you still have to share with us in your context. What is a multi-year project? Because we might have experience or know it from somewhere. Some, when they say multi-project, multi-year project, it's 3 years. Maybe in agriculture it's different. We just want to hear it from the horse's mouth. When you say this one is continuing to receive because it's a multi-year project, in your context, how do you define multi-year project? That person, to finish the story, was gone, and we quickly arrived at the conclusion. Actually, it means we helped him when he did not need any help from government. Therefore, whether it's a multi-project or whatever, that person is not getting. And I believe in whatever budget that is there, allocated to all small and big farmers, that farm is not there. If it's there, it means the portfolio committee and the department won't sit in one table. Won't. On the issue of fourth quarter performance report, I just want to comment, and this one will not only, I'm not only focusing on the fourth quarter performance, but generally the performance of the year, even if we are still awaiting the annual performance, but we have the quarters, so we know 91% and 4 programs did not achieve their targets fully, which is a concern. I will tell you why it's a concern. It's because most of the time, your underperformance and overachievement, they are not satisfactorily justified. You do put some justification, but I can tell you it's not all. So if we have 91% performance, where are the other percentages? The beneficiaries who were supposed to benefit, whether it's on program 1, which is internal, they are still beneficiaries, even if it's that one. But that one, I know most of the time it will perform. And underperformance leads to poor budget execution. And this emanates from poor planning. While you can't even satisfactorily justify your overachievement and underachievements. Some of these things, they are caused by our own arrangements internally. I will give you a very critical example which is a concern for us. HR delegation. We have just noted with concern that this department, even a tractor driver, the post must be filled by provincial. If not, you will correct us, because that's what we have picked when we are doing our oversight on the projects. If it is wrong, you will give us the correct information. But what we have learned is that the HR delegations are there is centralization of delegations. You can't even delegate to district to deal with 2 up to 5, which is normal in many departments. 2 to 5, it will be delegated to that level so that things happen faster. You can't have farmers who need assistance. They are waiting simply because a driver was supposed to have been appointed in Q1 but only to be appointed in Q3. Why? Because it has been centralized at head office. Head office has got its own challenges because you are chief directors and managers. All of you, you are senior, you are very busy. I'm talking from experience. Even if it's a quotation, you give a district to say, request for quotation for this job and give it to a provincial office. The district can deal with that completely within 2 weeks, clean. But the provincial, they will tell you, Chief Director Mang is not there. It will drag and drag. So HR delegations, as they are set out, they help, they assist. This department is very, very important to us and all the citizens of this province. When you are allocated 1.9 billion, is the money that all of us who must guard jealously. Because this department, when we wake up in the morning, we are given some energy by agriculture. We eat breakfast, lunch, agriculture. You go to sleep, agriculture. Whatever you do, you can't run away from agriculture. So it's in here, in our hearts. So together we must make sure that your intent statement comes to reality. Food security, economic growth, and job creation. It's not everything that we, as the department, when we say we have assisted communities, it must come from a funded budget. Some needs our active and caring commitment in all that we do. Why am I saying this? Is because first example is that one Renyaga database at the farms in national. I see feed, report is here, Marayela, I see feed. Any other thing that must be, maybe it's there on land reform department, but it's us who must unlock for our communities to get that assistance without any budget allocated. I believe MEC, your staffs, they work 7, more especially here at this level. Starting time, 7:30, but Chile, no time. Even at 12. Am I lying? I'm not, I know. And that time must be used to ensure that the people of Limpopo, they get what they deserve. I rest my case, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Nisi. Honorable Jonani, you said you must just not raise hands. I know every one of you have something to raise. Okay, thank you very much, Chairperson, even though I'm a visitor in this department. But I've noticed something from the, is it third quarter? Yeah, fourth quarter, on the issue of the placement of the intern in terms of replacement. They are replacing learners after 6 months, and according to me, they are taking a long time to replace. I don't know whether it's a matter of policy that showcase to them that they should do replacement after 6 months. I'm saying they are taking a long time. Maybe they should amend their policy to suit. We've got a lot of graduates who are unemployed. So we are requesting the department to make sure that they do diligence to them. The 6 months, according to me, even though I'm not part of this agriculture, but I think it's a little bit longer. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
No, thanks, Chair of the session. And let me take this opportunity to welcome the report from the department. Even though it has got smaller nyana loopholes. But next time, Chair, you must make sure that I speak before Honorable Minister and Honorable Bongani, because they will leave you speechless. I think they must summarize at some point. I'll speak for the sake of speaking, representing the people. Chair, I'm worried. Yeah. And Chair, let me take this opportunity again to congratulate the department for their reaction on my request. I requested for one young man to be absorbed in their projects. And really the department acted as such, and the young man benefited. Thank you, MEC. And Chair, there is this Todani. Kodan.
Yes.
Yeah, now. He's on penalties, but it seems like we are brushing him with a kids club. How long must we take to remove an underperforming company? Because where there is money, there is a high level of sensitivity. I won't talk much about him or her whatsoever, but there is nothing at total. And then on the commercial farms, I hear that you are going to distribute some, the commercial farms. HOD, am I wrong? I want to be sure.
I think maybe it's a misinterpretation.
Okay.
We don't distribute farms. We only develop the farmer from one level to another. We assist the farmer to move from subsistence farmer
To commercial.
to smallholder.
To smaller one.
Yes, to commercial.
Okay, no, I misunderstood you. Because I wanted to check the category and criteria, but I don't have much, Chair, except on what Honorable Minister has raised. I'm 100% sure the number of those farms that they have at National, they received them from the province. It's yourselves who calculated those farms and handed them over at National. So it can't be that we want such a report you are telling us about National. How you retrieve them from National, it's your own baby. We want the numbers of those farms from yourselves. We are a legislature. We are not a National Assembly. We are not going to speak to Stanley about the number. We will speak to the MEC because it's at our level. Because you are employed because of those numbers of farms. Unless you are working in the mall. So we need that report very seriously because there are a lot of fraudulent activities taking place. So you must go, take back that report, recorrect it. It must have those numbers of farms with immediate effect, Chair. I don't think it's a great smash to find those numbers. Because everybody at the department has got his or her area of work. There are those who deal with stats and so on, obviously. So it can be difficult to get those numbers. I think I should pause there, Chair. Otherwise, I'm covered by Honorable Moss and Honorable Lewis. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Veteran Chair. Honorable Bongan.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. I think today we're having one of the shortest meetings as a committee with the department. And this is due to what the department is presenting to us. I always say, Honorable Marks, don't fix when it's not broken. However, you must focus on efficiency and build on sustainability. This has always been what drives me half the time. So we are fine. I'm quite happy with what the department has brought to us. There's one, whether it's between the vision or the mission, the food security and economic growth is what now inspires me to want to engage the department today. Because if you want to speak about food security and you have to speak about economic growth, and we're speaking about the Department of Agriculture, it takes us back to what we call your entire economic cluster in terms of government MEC. It takes you back to what is happening in Matsibandila and what is happening in Ntombislik. Then you've got the agricultural department that side, then you've got the education department on the other side. It takes you to that school in Tuhando, I forgot the name. Yeah, Dimani. Then it takes you to Merensky. You put them together. Is it the mission, HOD? I can't remember whether it's mission or what. But there's where there's food security and economic development. Now, we are a farming province, granted. I see what is happening in Cape Town. It's just the content that comes bottled as opposed to what we do here. When you wake up, it's agriculture, it's a farmer. Everything you do for your whole day, it's a farmer. In the whole value chain of our existence and our activities, there is a farmer. There's a component of skills development, which is somewhere in one of your reports. I know I may have made a mistake to say let's take them all together. I had my other ideas of trying to save time as well. I may not necessarily speak to the first part of your resolution tracking and say now I'm on APP, now I'm on a fourth quarter report, but please bear with me. If you know this one belongs to you, respond to it there. You see, Honorable Chair, the situation in Ntombislik and Matsibandila, I'm comfortable with the report that there's progress in terms of refurbishment or whether you call it whatever construction work happening there. I am happy because it means we are then committing ourselves as government to change the outlook of those two institutions, because they are our most trusted institutions in respect of your agricultural activities. The other component, Honorable Chair, maybe one day we need to have what we call a cluster engagement in terms of economic development, where you've got the MEC, even if she does not bring the entire all chief directors, and then you've got your MEC Mawungu as well, to also be sitting on the other side, so that we then discuss who is a feeder to who. With Matsibandila and Ntombislik, as they are located there, and that Dimani and Merensky. If you look at all these institutions, we're talking about the same state, but if you are to go and interrogate how they fit to each other, you'll be shocked. Yet you're talking about the same government. yet you want to develop skills, yet you want to produce youthful farmers. Because we're supposed to be in a state where we know how many graduates are we getting from these high schools and what capacity do they have already. We're supposed to have an idea as to how much is Tompis Liga and Matsivandila producing farmers. We can't be struggling to say we don't know how many farmers we have when we've got these high schools and we've got these ones there in Skukuni. And we cannot be struggling to say we're not certain as to, in terms of we call them youthful farmers or young farmers. In terms of young farmers, if English allows that, we should not be struggling to have a sense as to how many do we produce a year. When we go to a discussion about that Honorable Jack has raised, how do we move a startup farmer to a level of a smallholder and to become a commercial farmer? It is a sad reality when you remain a smallholder for more than 6 years. It means something is not going on there, whether it's on the part of the state or it's on the part of the farmer. And if it's on the part of the farmer, the question will be, how much contribution and support is the farmer receiving from the state and vice versa? And when you go to what you call your public opinion engagement, it's always the government which is always getting blamed for not supporting farmers on time. The other part, Honorable Chair, which is missing, I don't think we're doing enough as the state or the government in terms of awareness amongst our people in respect of farming space. We still have a larger size amount of young people who still think of a farmer who's wearing gumboots every day and driving a tractor. People are not aware that farming is not just about wearing gumboots and that helmet, what do you call it, for safety measures, and drive a tractor. So we are not attracting as much young people as we should be attracting. And the question will be, what programs are we rolling out as government that must spark interest amongst young people? And the other challenge is this one, Honorable Chair. I'm going to repeat myself on this one. One day, as chair of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, you and the other chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Education, we need to have some certain level of engagement with the HODs and the MECs to try and balance the two scopes. Who must bring what quality, who must bring what skill, and how do you build the province in respect of your skills development, number one. Number two, supporting young farmers. I've seen one thing which is very dangerous. This country is not investing in young people. And these young people, we always blame them every day, whereas we don't give them sufficient information for them to be able to see the extent to which they can participate in the economy. I've noted as well from the department that in respect of your filling up of vacancies, you have made a very significant progress, and we are quite happy. And those who are going to be appointed, we are going to clap hands for them and expect them to do what it is that they will have been appointed for. We cannot have the state running on vacancies for longer, MEC. I'm personally quite very happy of the report we're getting here. Let me go to this topic, which is a thorny topic. The one of the Nguni. The unfortunate part about the Nguni project, society does not know where the Nguni project emanates from. Society is not even informed it was a project for a certain amount of years. And now that the years have gone by, people just believe the Nguni project has just faded in the hands of politicians. You must remember one thing. At one point, MEC will engage you as a citizen, on the other part, I'll engage you as a politician. We get to be blamed for the missing cows and cattle in respect of the Nguni project because it is not known as to what had happened to it or where it's at. It's only the few who are fortunate to be sitting in meetings like this who are privy to information that says it was a 5-year project and it has lapsed. And now that it has lapsed, it means we do not have a Nguni project moving forward. However, our department has adopted it. Now the question will then be, now that we have adopted that Nguni project beyond what it was initially, where are we? How many Ngunis are we in control of that we have? You call it what, loaned? I'm not sure whether loaning or leasing will be a proper English for it. We are interested in finding out as to how many, after we then adopted the entire project, how many cattle have we given out for loan, if it's a loan. Right? And out of that process, I see a lot of repayment here. You know, English can dribble you sometimes. I am not sure how this repayment is happening. It's, you loan me four kettles and 1 bull to strike the 4 kettles. The repayment, is it the product or the produce of the labor of the bull, or it's a financial repayment? Is it financial repayment, or is me returning back the bull or the 4 and remain carrying a man? This is where we are finding ourselves wanting as members of the portfolio committee. On top of that, we have an interest, Honorable Chair and MEC, in respect of this project. What are the preconditions for one to qualify to be loaned these bulls, if it's only bulls or these cattle? If we can get the responses to that effect, we're able to clarify society as and when we sit with them that no man, this is what you must qualify for, or these are the conditions you must satisfy. Whether you must first have a crawl, or you must just have an ambition, or must take you through a training program so that you are able to take care of what it is that government will have given up to. If you can give us those few responses in respect of this Nguni project, we'll be quite very, very, very happy. Let me speak to you about the SNL. I know Honorable Jack has spoken about it, Honorable Bliss has also spoken about it. MEC, we are quite very worried here with SNL. I don't want to go into the details and nitty-gritties of how was SNL identified as a potential beneficiary for the building of that house to house those chicks. That, I think that one is gone, it's water under the bridge. But this Gundo, whether it's Gundo or Todan, we are mistaking the names. The contractor who is not able to finish the work there, and it's been going on, it's been over a year now. I think we've got a year ourselves as the 7th administration. You are still sitting with a contractor who's unable to finish the work on the other side. And the aspect of saying we have written letters, you know, these letters sometimes we must write them and get to a point where the timelines are quite very effective and very easy. And where the need arise, MEC, government must be bold to terminate contracts. Why are we terminated in other areas and we can't terminate a contractor who's unable to complete that infrastructure? When are we going to move S and L sons from smallholder, if they qualify in that component, to a commercial chicken meat producers, when we still have an infrastructure that we are not able to complete because of a contractor? What are the difficulties there? What is hard? Lastly, on this one, MEC, HOD, please have a session with those who are responsible for contract preparations. You know, government loses a lot of money on the basis of your contract managers. Not the one that sees to it that the contract is being added to. The ones that actually pin the pen to a paper in terms of writing the conditions of the contract. This is where we're always getting it wrong. You may find that you don't have an easy way to get out of that contract. You are held up in letters for over 9 months. Later, 3 months, wait for a response. You don't get it positive. You check the contract. You don't have a room for you to exit. You must then write another letter. It's going to be letter after a letter, Honorable Chair, for as long as our officials in government who are responsible for contract drafting are not protecting government. They leave contracts as open as they can possibly leave them. So much that contractors are just dancing on our hands. And that is not going to be a fair process. And we are going to be blamed. You see, unfortunately, MEC, those who have seen that project there are not going to blame the contract manager in the department. They are going to conclude that and who are these people? It's ourselves who are politicians. So we're going to continue to suffer for things that do not belong to our hands. And if you can then please fix that, you will have assisted us. The other component that I want to speak to is this one of communal property associations. You know, is it Laval? Hey, that surname is difficult. Your surname, I wish to know it by heart. I know there's Lavashak. Yeah, something like that. Please, give me your surname again. Yeah, no, I'll practice this from today so that next time we have a meeting, I can pronounce it better. You know why we've got challenges with all these entities which used to flourish? It's because of this component of your communal property associations. Our people are the ones who are failing our people themselves. It's not necessarily the government. It's our people. What is happening there in Sekhukhune, if you look at it, it's not the state. It's our people who have taken over the rights of that particular infrastructure that used to produce a lot of oranges. And they are failing. And you know how they are getting it right? Because they are holding on to a communal property association. That act, a very beautiful progressive act which was meant to assist our people, is now being used as a tool to collapse an infrastructure. And you know what it does to us? It says indeed blacks can lead. And it's a lie, that thing. We can lead. We are very capable. No, we are. That's why we're sitting like this here with you. We have capacity to lead and we've got capacity to do well. However, because of the CPA's, Honorable Chair, we have collapsed infrastructures that we inherited in respect of farming, your agricultural component. I don't want to speak about that one there in Mahuas Kloof where we used to supply the whole world with tea. If you look at that one as well, it has collapsed on the basis of us wanting to fight for authority when we claimed our piece of land and now we have it back. I want to propose, Honorable MEC, that the next time we meet with you, please bring someone from the land reform, that department, and rural development. They are here in that street. I forgot the name of the Hans, if not mistaken. We want to sit with them here so that we can then ask them questions, very beautiful questions, very tough and very sophisticated questions about the status of all the CPAs in this province and the status of the act itself. You know, there's no law that is permanent. We put together laws. As soon as we pick up that these laws are not progressive for our people, we undergo another study. We start a new process to then revamp them and review some of these laws. I'll give an example of what I know which is happening in the Northwest Province. How they are managing their CPAs, I'm not sure who it belongs to here amongst yourselves. Whoever it belongs to, please don't take offense, but I'm trying to throw a bone to you. Maybe you need to try to check how they are dealing with CPAs, because I know for a fact their CPAs every 3 years, they undergo what you call your AGMs kind of setup. They elect their leadership after every 3 years. It's a standing principle in the Northwest Province. All CPAs that are there, even in the Northern Cape Province, I've seen it happening. After every 3 years, leadership of a CPA does not stand forever. And then they themselves have done what we call their internal policies, which puts a precondition that Honorable Bella cannot be a chairperson of a CPA for more than 2 terms of office. In that way, it's managing how they must deal with it. It contains these permanent ambitions, and it also manages who must then come in and lead. So if we can try and pay attention to what is happening in other provinces in respect of management of CPAs by government, I think we'll get somewhere. And what I've noted, Honorable Chair, if this topic does not belong here, please pardon me, but I think it's very critical for us to move forward. What I've also noted is that it's the government itself that procures the services of people who preside over their elective AGMs. And it is still government as well that procures services of people who come in and provide what we call leadership training after their elections. So anyone who comes in as a chair, if they are to sign some resources, they know very well that come 2029, I'm supposed to stand before the people and present a report, an audited financial report where I must account for 3.7 million that I have spent. I think if we can take that route, it doesn't matter whether it takes us 7 months or a year. If we can adopt that route, by 2020, before our term of office ends, Honorable Bella, we only have 5 years, we will be smiling afterwards and say, this is what we've been able to achieve. And now we see changes. And when you get it, when you look at it like that, you are able to develop institutions as far as your CPAs are concerned. That is the other part that I wanted to contribute to. The next issue I want to contribute to, Honorable Chair, it's the Matsike situation, the situation of your water and your electricity. I know very well that no one is it's a digital hub of the entire knowledge in society. You know, the challenge of water rights is always reversed a lot of progress in respect of your farming activities. I don't want to start a revolution here in the portfolio committee, but there are people who have bought pieces of farms and land, but they don't have water rights. Others have a 50%. Your water rights starts here and ends here. It's 1.5 hectares, whereas your farm stretches beyond 4 hectares. Then what do you call it? You call it a stream. If it's a stream or a canal, it's still passing your piece of land of your farm that you have rights to. However, you can't touch the water that falls within the very same piece of land that belongs to you 4 hectares beyond where you are. This is a very serious challenge. We need to find a way as government. I know we can impose situations. If it doesn't belong to us as here, it belongs to a national department. MEC, when you go to those meetings, I want to believe you've got your cluster engagements. If you are taking the HOD, please HOD take note of this request. Find a way to look into the rules and look into the law as to how do we then assist farmers who only have a piece of land and do not have what do you call the water rights. Who's going to farm without water? It's a very dangerous way of robbery. I don't know what to call it. Someone who has owned that piece of land before me has literally put a condition for me not to thrive in terms of business activities that I want to put together regarding farming, because I need water to be farming there. The last issue I want to speak to is this one of what we have requested, a list of, even if we don't know, even if we don't have it in hand, but we want to know how many state farms have been. This one is a very thorny issue. How many state farms have been leased, and what is the term of the lease? And the last important issue on this one, are these pieces of land used for the purpose or for the conditions which were awarded for to these people who have signed up the lease? If I have taken it for the purposes of growing Honorable Chair, what do you call that thing that you love the most? That one is in Tsanin. Pepper Jew. But then when you come there, you only find cabbage only. I've divided it. Here is mealies, here is cabbage. And with the mealies, I'm doing the yellow one. And our people are not buying it. Even if you say you want to get market for you now, because we are not in drought, no one is willing to buy the mealies that you are planting there because you are producing the yellow one as opposed to the white one. We want that report, MEC. Whoever is holding it there, tell them that the portfolio committee in Limpopo wants to know how many farms are they used for the same conditions that they were awarded for. If they are not, then we can start another discussion to establish as to why is this one having the rights of this piece of land and not using it for that purpose. I know most of those lease contracts, it's about 60 years, 70 years, others is 99 years. So if I can get one now, at my age, it means there are 3 generations at home that are going to continue to pretend as if they are owning farms when they don't have it. Because I got a 99-year lease contract. And in that 99-year, not even 3 years or 5 years of that contract have I done what it is that I got the piece of land for. In fact, we know some of these people. We're just waiting for you to come and give us the report. We go to their farms, which they claim is their farms. And what we do there is to dance and drink. We dance there and we come back. And we're here. Now we've got this young farmer here with ambitions. He has graduated in the University of South Africa. He has done what we call agricultural specialist. He wants to start farming. But you have given Honorable Bella a piece of land. That land has never done anything that relates to farming. Others take these pieces of land and say they want to do millets. What do? They take what I call village cows. You know village cows? You don't know how to categorize them, whether it's Brahman or it's Nguni, but it's just home. I call them village farms, village cattle. They are there, they are loitering the farms. This is where we are. So you need to understand why we are requesting this information. And should it become very difficult for you to access this information, please humble yourself and say, we have been knocking all the doors, we are not winning. We are going to take it upon ourselves as the portfolio committee, not to just knock, to just unlock the door. When you knock, people don't open. Send us those who can just open it and say, we are here. We'll do a standing there, we want these things. We are tired of being blamed for things that we don't know ourselves. We are relatively new here, just 1 year. Already every day, the calls we are getting here, MEC, about these farms. Lastly, MEC, this thing of Buahomu and Mashashan, I don't know when I'm going to stop talking about it in public. It's very embarrassing. When you go to legislature for a sitting, when you drive out, you see people holding abattoir, abattoir. Every day, people are holding placards there. Now you ask yourself, Honorable Chair, is it the Office of the Premier? Is it the MEC for Agriculture? Is it the MEC for Economic Development? Who is not moving in respect of those two? And if you are to pay attention, there's no progress there. There's just vandalism weekly. In Vohom it's even worse. You move, after moving you come here and report. If you can go back after your report, you realize that some things have been vandalized again. And this is one aspect, I don't know how we can contain it. We must manage it, MEC, and talk less about it until we have it running, in the real sense of it running. Then we can all be happy. Then we can create jobs for our people. I know in Mashashani, that's a hardcore village. We can employ at least 7 people there. In Lubahom, it's even worse. There we can employ as many people as possible. Honorable Chair, there's one appointment we went to where we have spent money as government. I would have thought that the department would say something about it. There's that place we went, we were with her, there in Politi. That 50-something million rand machine we bought in Italy. That place. Let me say, I was praying that at least the HOD will speak something about it. That project. We went there for an oversight. We had a briefing outside the gate. But we were given reasons that no, man, the confirmations were on different days. The farmer is having meetings with, what do you call them? Investors who have already put money in the institutions. Let me see if we can get that one running. It will be a flagship project that we can all walk tall and be proud of. And it's very close to where we wish to see it. So when you get a chance, please, whoever is responsible for it from yourselves here and your colleagues, please run on it, get it right. We now want to go there when it's running. Now that we went, we did not even enter the space. We were briefed from the gate. This time we wish to go and see it running and get the statistics of people who have been employed since it started. Then we see where the money is going. Then politicians from that side of Mopan will no longer be blamed for what people call you are chowing money, you can't even finish this small project. Unfortunately, HOD, I can say this with confidence, there will never be a place where you go to people are blaming you as an HOD. Never. Society does not blame HODs, does not blame chief directors. They don't know you. Their interest is not there. Their interest is in those who wear t-shirts of some colors of some political parties, who says Amanda and they say, Awe too. Now, when you say Amanda these days, they say Awe Echo. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair. No, I've stopped quickly.
Thank you very much, honorable members. I've got just 2 or 3 maybe to get a clarity. Honorable MEC, we have been visited these farmers where they are producing veggies and the department is assisting them. And we are really thank the department that you are doing a very good work with your colleagues by assisting those emerging farmers. And these farmers, they don't get market. They're running, they're doing things. We bought potatoes when we got there, we bought cabbages, oranges, but they don't have market. They don't have market. There are just few that they will tell you we got market from this. And we are requesting as this committee to Honorable MEC just to sit under one roof with the MEC of Education. Because MEC of Education are into like food security. Where do these people buy veggies? Whereas our people are doing vegetables and they are selling most those contractors to deliver to Department of Education. At least we are one government. Shanda boya shanda, yeah, shanda famba shanda boy, ritushane, because this is our agricultural imaging companies. They are doing very well. This is education. Ba procure the contractor to come and give security foods to the kids. But ours putile matsore ha re tsebo re ba feng. And it hlohleletša our farmers gore ba dire more and continuously every year. Ba kgone ba sustainable le bone ba te sustain. So we are requesting MEC gore re dule in one roof to assist those farmers. And we went to some few schools that also been assisted by our department. Keep it up. Rena ke re ra di bona dilo tse ba di dirang ko dikolong. Na le dikolo tse re di attendileng ko Makhado. Ke Makhado. Yeah, and Toyando. Those kids are doing very well. They just need our support. Day-to-day support and re kgone go tswela pele. MEC, your officials are doing very well. I can attest, and the issue of water license is a problem. It's a problem, especially in Sekhukhune areas. When they applied the water license, the part of Sekhukhune, some they say to Mpumalanga, some they say you are in Limpopo. Those farmers are frustrated. If we can just deal with this issue of license, I don't want to go deeper. Honorable Maringa have just clarify it more further. Renali, this thing, yeah, baradipelo. I think that no one knows what I'm talking about. The radipelo is the person who we visited and we've got things to do. And we said this rule is undermining the work of the legislature, Honorable MEC. We must not continue giving him or her support unless he came here and apologized. Because we made an appointment with him. We said you are coming. He even can't tell you how many department has assisted. I say, we don't know. Who's the person now? And I've got things to do. Go out there. The department is assisting him a lot. Necessarily because this person is not from here. Assist. So we said, even though we are not in a formal meeting, we said, but these people must not get assistance ever again. We've got people that we don't assist them. that we are hoping or they are going to respect the work of the portfolio committee. Honorable MEC and the HOD, the withhold, that's our interest as the committee. Even though we have applied to visit, we are still in the pipeline too. The withhold is the lady that was briefing us there. We have very much interest. We've got a lot of interest that hope that person will assist where we don't assist. And Honorable MEC, sometimes we want the HOD and the team just to brief the committee. I get another Majitana Bagagwa legislature, you must ask to go to work. We are still waiting. We are asking on a little process. If they don't want, they are say I more away. We are asking. So we want the report, MEC, because the officials went there in the Eastern Cape. Renara sa apply lo ya Eastern Cape. If baka tlo ba briefing yan, re ka ba le that ideas ya gore go diregang kwa. Mara the first time that woman are briefer kwa, now I've developed the interest. More especially that we are not going to lose anything as the department. For us, it's just to go there and cut the ribbon, and the community, ba greatly assistant. MEC, there is no one except yourself who can assist people of CVTL just to unlock that project there. No one. There were MECs came, speeches came and go. You are the only one who can unlock that, and I've got the reasons. And if you can't unlock the issue of CVTL, you are gone. Because I can't remember CVTL. Yeah, charity begins at home. This is the hope of Batwa Sevitiela. Banal hope for, and you know everything about Sevitiela, and even the neighboring villages. Until Sevitiela you ever assist. I can tell you now I know about Sevitiela. In sometimes I went to school, Kachelta was at B. That's why they were never very good with there is no one who can do it except yourself. If you can unlock the video, project it's working. Even though the HOD reported about it, now I'm saying thumbs up. The hope of the community of ZB is upon yourself, MEC. So with regard to the issue being erased again, Honorable Maringa, we must call the MEC and the people from rural development. The MEC are asked from which hour. I guess it's a department on their own. They must come here. MEC are not the stress. Kadilo just had it severe. Resanjeri biche bona batlemo batle ba re botse ka these farms. I can now we are the only one by community ba khona ba access and ask some question about those farms. So and we are the only one ba palango respond on those farms. We must just call the department can be. I don't know if I'm correct or I'm wrong, but I think that is the department on its own that we must call and leave our MEC alone. MEC and our MEC, there is this thing, yeah, Tibatla. By then it was Tibatla. Now they're getting lithium. Fetchatla. Yeah, it was Fetchatla previous. Now it's Legime. Let me see if you can work got this thing yeah Legime. Or maybe we're not going to Galina Laga. Let me see Galina Laga. Maybe you know Sverake because it's a previous name from previous MECs. But this thing can work for our communities. Even though Baba Lemang Kadijarten Jabon, they are getting assistance. If Motaka Lema 2 hectares MEC, Kapewa if you link MEC, I can produce some of the logical Tushan or at this thing is working, MEC. This thing is working. I think now I'm fine. The honorable members are fine. Over to MEC for the responses and thanks.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairperson and the entire Portfolio Committee members, together with Team Agriculture. I want to acknowledge the progressive and developmental questions that arose from the members of the Portfolio Committee. So before I can even add on some of the questions as raised, let me take this opportunity to afford the HOD and the team to be answerable to the question first, then I'll come later.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC and the members. We appreciate your positive contribution. It actually stretched our mind. Your strategic guidance and leadership is very valuable in making this meeting to be very progressive. And we had actually, for those comments, those valuable inputs that you have made, we have taken note of all the inputs, and we will make sure that we try our level best to implement as advised. I'll start with the phony issue that is in the meeting. I think this interaction has actually unlocked, to a certain extent, our department, the Department of Land Reform and Rural Development. As and when we were talking, just that the Honorable Jack has left after he has made that comment that I'm not operating at the moment. I then sent the message to the acting chief director to say, you know what, if you don't bring the list of the state farms today, expect the members of the portfolio committee to be on your door. So we're having the list. He sent it to us. The list of the state farms, we are having it is 279 state farms which were listed. And the information entails those farms, the leases, and the period of the lease. So most of the lease agreement is around 30 years. We will forward it to the coordinator. What we don't have, Honorable Maringa, is on whether the lease farms are being used for the intended purposes. That we don't have, and we will try to source that information. We had also taken into consideration of your request that the MEC should be able to extend the invitation in our next portfolio to have a representative from rural development to be part of these proceedings. We will convey the message as such. Honorable Marinda, I agree with you. There is a very strong relationship, interrelationship between us as a Department of Agriculture and the Department of Education, precisely on the two colleges. We are so much interlinked. And I want to bring this committee into the developments that are underway. The National Department of Agriculture, they are in the process of transferring the agricultural colleges to where it's supposed to be, because this is the pure mandate of the Department of Higher Education and Training. Education is education. We can't be having the two colleges that are being governed within the Public Service Act regulation, because it also had to a certain extent a negative impact in terms of the effectiveness and the operation of the two campuses. Education is very much fundamental to the success and the sustainability of the agricultural sector as a discipline, because this is a discipline, and because it's a training institution, it must be able to belong to where it's supposed to. So the interactions are underway. At the same time, as a department, we did not fold our hands. I'm happy because of this engagement. We had signed a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Education. The only thing that is left is for us to sit around the table and agree on, in terms of terms and conditions, also to be able to agree on the jurisdiction of our operation. And I also appreciate the Honorable Chairperson for the input that you are making. The Department of Education has got a role to play in terms of food security function, equally as us. And we are the producers. We produce those cash crops, and we had also taken note that some of our farmers, they are not having access to market, which is one of our core functions as a department. We do have the economists under the leadership of Dr. Nabiskachen, who are supposed to make sure that they provide that support to the farmers. And we will take that up with the Department of Education. We appreciate that input. The issue of water rights is also a painful issue on our side. Although our advisory services, they are in contact, they are making some engagement with the Department of Water and Sanitation. There is no progress. I fully agree with you. And we will take that up maybe with the principals in the National Department of Water and Sanitation and see how best can we reach a solution for us to assist our farmers. Because you can't have water in your farm and they tell you that you can only utilize this water for this portion, and you cannot access, the whole farm cannot access it. The Nguni cattle scheme will be responded by the director, Mr. Mujabilu. On the replacement of Honorable Matsoman, replacement of unemployed graduate. This has been regulated by the policy from the national department. It is within the developmental program of a conditional grant. So the policy says the 6 months relates to as and when we had appointed 140. It is a 2-year program, 24 months. So within that particular period, let's say maybe we appoint 140 and 5 unemployed graduates secure the permanent jobs. The replacement can only be done within 6 months of that particular period. Not to say that we're taking off. Within 6 months, we are allowed to replace, so that we can be able to have a 6 months overlapping in the next financial year, only within 6 months. So after 6 months, because it has got financial implications and they are supposed to account for the money expended, we cannot be able to replace. Honorable Minister, thank you for your guidance. I want to speak to the HR delegation. Human resource delegation is highly regulated. It has been regulated in terms of Public Service Act, Public Service Regulation, and the Directive of Public Administration and Management of Delegations. Therefore, the delegations belong to the executive authority, the HR delegations. But the guidelines give the MEC to delegate some of the HR delegations to the HOD. And the HOD also must delegate further to other performance levels. And in this case, the chief directors. So we can't go outside the directive and delegate that. And it has got serious implications. I don't think the inefficiency is it as a result that the delegations are centralized at head office. There is no head office where all the employees in the department, we can go in any other government institution that belongs to the Department of Agriculture. The inefficiency, it is within the system, as I've already alluded, that the delays, it is being caused by this other processes like your IT, where we are unable to access the applications and so forth and so forth. The district office has a delegation on the developmental programs for level 1. We had delegated further to level 1, your interns, your unemployed graduates, because we must also as well check at the level of the capacity. It has got serious legal implications, financial implications. Previously, we tried to deviate from the guideline when the delegation was delegated to the level of the district from level 1 to 5. Guess what? We had so many audit findings. So many audit findings in terms of the irregular appointments. And we were also found wanting because we had deviated from the directive as it is. So those are the issues that I will respond to. Then I will therefore request the colleagues to speak to the issue of contract. I agree, Honorable Marin. The issue of contract management must be strengthened. We are unable to come out from the non-performing contractors because we are the contributor to the contract in terms of the terms and conditions. And we will therefore look into, I think in our next meeting, our report will look different. I will then request through you, Chairperson, to respond the criteria for Nguni. One, to receive Nguni credit, how do you then pay back the loan? And since we had took over the scheme, if you have that information, if you don't have the accurate information, then you can just request that that information can still be provided. Thank you.
Thank you very much, HOD, MEC, Chairperson, and members of the Portfolio Committee. I will indeed respond to the question posed by Honorable Mnisi and Honorable Maringa on the Nguni project. To cover the questions raised, what I will do, let me take this opportunity to explain also how we actually identify farmers. We actually normally issue out a public advert inviting interested parties who can be able to, who are interested in the project. And then on the advert, the public advert, which we do through, we also do it on radio, we do it on print media. Usually we'll actually use the local papers, as well as the placards with which officials will actually plug them in the strategic areas across the province. Then on the criteria, what is then required, because we categorize or classify the project as a commercial initiative, not at the category of social. Then that being the case, the number of livestock that we give the minimum package will actually require a farmer to have the requisite capacity. Then the 600 hectares becomes the requirement. You need to be a South African. You should be residing in Limpopo or having your farming operation in Limpopo and have a farm of 600 hectares plus that you own or have leased with an organ of state. It can either be your municipality, your public works, your roads and transport, your Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, and those will be the accepted lease agreements in case you don't own that property. And they will then apply,
And then after application, the shortlisted candidates will then face the second phase of assessment, where we'll come and assess the farm that you purport to be owning, and that farm, there will be a field assessment to measure or check on the capacity. If you'll then have the capacity to be able to receive the animals, look after them, and actually maintain the growth of that particular herd. The initial herd for the qualifying ones that we actually provide, we call it a nucleus herd. We give you the initial herd, that is a loan, and you'll only own those animals after you have serviced your loan in full. So as much as the animals you have not serviced your loan of that cattle, the cattle still belongs to the program. And what happened is that it runs for 5 years. Within the 5 years, according to the contract, within the 5 years you must repay back the loan. How you repay back the loan? There were two options from the IDC, as the initiative of IDC, that the people can pay back in the form of money or in the form of in kind, in the form of cattle. But as a province, our position is that farmers pays in the form of cattle only. If the farmer feels like he has actually want to pay back and he has seen animals from another breeder for some reasons, then he wants to buy them, we actually will go with the farmer to assess those animals in terms of quality, and then before we can accept that kind of a loan repayment. But to us, as a department, what comes is the animals. So when they pay within the 5 years in tranches. They don't actually, will not necessarily, they can actually pay either in 10s or 15, any number. But we actually recommend that it must not be less than 5, less than 10. So that when we dispatch the truck as a department, there is cost effective for us. So what is happening is that the last advert that we have issued out, and then what Honorable Maringa was saying, to say people are saying it is dead. It is not dead, but it has slowed down since IDC, the project period has lapsed, and then they were no longer putting money to the province to buy livestock. So we are now, having been dependent all these years on the loan repayments that we are circulating, redistributing. When a farmer pays back, they go to the next farmer. So what is happening is that currently what we have actually distributed since inception is 4,273 animals, and then 2,274 have been repaid, and then we've got an outstanding of 1,553 animals. One of the things that has impacted on the slowing down of the loan repayment, and then also affected us from advertising every year as what we have been doing when we're still receiving financial backing from IDC every year, is that we'll not have capacity to actually distribute. We raise expectation. So in 2018 is the last year that we have actually advertised. What happened in 2018, we have received almost about 105 applications. On top of those applications that we have received, 35 were shortlisted and 33 were recommended, meaning they qualified for support. So a resolution was made to say, let us not advertise every year, let's service the number that we have. And through the HOD's office, they were even inquiring on how far are we. So now we have actually been, we are left with almost 2 applicants on the list of the 33 that we have actually were recommended. Others fall off from that list because of their, some of them, when we go back to reassess their farms, they've actually rented those farms, particularly the CPAs, and then the grazing is depleted. Others, the CPAs are no longer operating. There's no cohesion, they are fighting, so we could not actually go back to them. But on the list that we have actually done, now we can be able to be ready to re-advertise, and then we are also looking forward to say if there can be some kind of financial backing, so that when we advertise, we know we'll receive almost around 120, 130 applications of people who have farms. And then when we are going to shortlist, it will actually be somewhere in the range of 30, between 30 and 50 that may actually qualify. So that we are not going to be blamed to say people are worried that we are advertising and we are not being responsive. But those who have applied, we always give accountability to them when they do such inquiries on how far are we in supporting them. So the loan repayment model precondition for how we actually pay back is in the form of cattle, and then they don't necessarily have capacity to pay in full at once. They pay in tranches. So one of the things that I want to share with the committee, the impact of that, what has impacted on Limpopo, because we have adopted it as other provinces on the withdrawal of IDC funding. They've actually written off the animals to the farmers. They did not continue. But as a province, because the red meat cluster development is one of the key economic clusters for rural development and the industry growth, we actually kept the project as one of the key vehicles for us for livestock improvement and enterprise development. And we feel that there are reasonable farmers out there who come forward to pay back the loan. Others, because of what happened in other provinces, they are aware and they think they can resist. But we continue to write them letters, we continue to pursue them. We even spoke to the commodity structures, livestock in the province, and even the likes of NAFU to say, talk to farmers. They should not be the ones who collapse the initiatives of government. They must be able to come to the party, because currently what we depend on is that the farmer who has benefited must pay back for us to coordinate to support the next farmer. And NAFU is actually engaging them. Even now we've got others who are, through our engagement with them, who now come in positively to say, we'll actually repay, and then we've got a plan, and they submit their plans to repay the loans. And then we'll continue to support the next farmers. And we anticipate that we can be able to soon advertise. Thank you very much.
You are done, HOD?
Yes.
They've responded, all of them?
Yes. Most of the issues raised were comments.
Okay. Honorable members, if there are clarity.
Oh, sorry. On the withhold.
Mara ke withhold be ke no ra reason today.
Okay.
Ke no ra re mara you must come. Re tlo ba le meeting probably next week. We just want to meet with the department. Ho sena di APP, ho sena le se no tla re bolele re lebele the affairs of the department. Ho sena le futhi re no ba re le department, and then re bone gore ana ke kae mo ile gore we must unlock, and probably by that other week we have requested to says Jennifer or khopela the space. I ke le butse re ba ka khopela space sa go ya miracle. I don't care it's recorded or what, but when we want to go to work, we must request for a miracle. So, says Jennifer will do that. Honorable Munisi.
Yeah, it's just a small follow-up, Chairperson. Thank you. Tate Mola who responded on the issue of repayment, but he's still saying on trenches. Trenches if you have given him or her 10 cattle or 6 for bulls, so when they are paying back in trenches, they've already done the job. When they pay in trenches, they bring one, and next year bring one. We are talking cattle, it's not money where you can say I can't raise the same money, but if we are talking about cattle and they have already multiplied Ape kgomo e tswala every year. They have multiplied for these years, but we are talking trenches. Are we not really creating a problem for ourselves? I understand other provinces might have approached it differently, we approach it differently. It's appreciated. I agree we don't copy everything, we copy what will work for us. Number two, on the issue of HR delegations, I don't want to dwell much on this matter, but unless if there is an amendment which came to effect 2023, 2024, I might not be aware of. But otherwise, I know DPSA delegation regulation. If you have level 13 at the district, they can be delegated 5 downwards. When you raise the issue of capacity, then it's another thing which you were supposed to build capacity. But to say it's not allowed, unless if there are no level 13s in agriculture, because I am still learning how the levels, more especially at the district, because you will sometimes hear them saying west, south, and I'm asking myself, I only know education which is have taken that decision of having 2 districts in the former 1 district. So we are still grappling to understand the levels, more especially down there. But if my memory serves me well, that delegation can, depending on the will. Thank you, Chair.
I think it's the follow up. HOD, if you can just respond, and after the response, I think we must just do justice to the MEC and give the MEC a chance to talk to members.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and members. The issue of trenches, it's a minimum of 10 kettles repayment. You can, it depends in terms of multiplication of the number of kettles. It's just a minimum. It's not a cast in stone to say when we are saying trenches, 10 and above until you finish that repayment of the loan in, is it 5 years? Is it in a period of 5 years?
Shawan.
10, minimum of 10.
Oh, no, I can't make a question, darling. I can't question and when this thing a repayment, but it's fine. I think the MEC will brief me outside. MEC, can we just give you this opportunity, please?
Yeah, thank you once more, Honorable Chairperson and the entire Portfolio Committee members and the team Agriculture together with the officials. Once more, I want to acknowledge the guidance, of course, as put forth by members of the Portfolio Committee. It is really a developmental and eye-opener. We are going to make sure that as and when the information is needed from your good self, we will then be able to provide you with answers, of course, that are developmental in nature. Maybe starting from the questions as raised, I'll just dwell on the ones that maybe are not answered. But in terms of the list of farmers, I think we are happy. We're still going to look at that list because we have just received it right now. And even before we can come to the Portfolio Committee, I was conscientizing the HOD that they must write a follow-up letter to the DG to complain about the behavior of the directors at the level of the province, because we are relying on the information from them fortunate enough, they were able to respond, but there are still other matters like the issue of the attendance of the meeting with the executive managers on a regular basis. We still expect them to attend those meetings, because other questions, even if they can send a report, there are other things that we need to talk directly with them so that they are then able to talk to the report as sent to us, so that we provide an informed decision to your good self. And we were also even preparing with the HOD to say failure to respond by the DG at National Department for Land Reform and Rural Development. I'm going to write a letter myself to the MEC, but fortunately they were able to respond accordingly so. And on the issue of the Mazibandela, as raised by Honorable Moss, of course, most of the questions that were raised by Honorable Moss, they were also raised by Honorable Maringa. I think we have already the HOD has given you a proper response in line with that. But on the issue of the early warning disaster, we should believe that we are doing well as the Department of Agriculture in terms of detecting any form of disaster that may occur as a result of climate change, like the issue of the African armyworm, the issue of the black frost that we have experienced in the last year's winter season, and also other disasters pertaining to the one for the floods. It's just that in terms of the allocation, we were not provided with the budget to deal with the issue of a disaster, but out of the little that we have saved together with the CFO, we were then able to provide the necessary support to all the farmers who were affected by the disasters, in the form of giving them the agricultural inputs. But unfortunately, we did not get any budget from the provincial disaster from Coxstar, of course. Only Department of Public Works, Education, and Sport, Arts and Culture were the ones who were accommodated. So Department of Agriculture was not catered to in terms of the disaster relief fund. On the issue of the market access, I think this one, we are also struggling, but in terms of those who are qualifying, who are able to meet the requirements in terms of the South African good agricultural practice and also the global good agricultural practice, together, we are working together with the Department of Trade and Industry. Already they've got a market through the competitiveness at international level. Hence, we are having some countries whom we are having a relationship, like the BRICS countries. Now there is a G7, and on a regular basis they are dealing with the issue of those competitiveness in terms of the raw commodities that we are having in Limpopo, not only in agriculture but also your mining sector. And for those emerging farmers, the access of market for those emerging farmers, all of them, but majority of them, of course, who are doing very, very well in terms of our aggregators who assist the emerging farmers to make sure that they have access to the markets, both inside the province and outside the province. Some of them are getting the market access in our local retailers. We have an example, for instance, in Capricorn, Bomashudu, they have an opportunity to have a market access at Bogosiame and other fresh produce market. We have Bohapada, our young farmers, of course, who are able to have the market access to the spare. So those are examples of the access to the market for our farmers, but we are going to make sure that indeed we maximize the very same exercise with our assistance from LEADER through LEADER, because as much as we are saying in Limpopo we are food secure, but we are producing for consumption and not for commercialization. Hence the issue of industrialization and beneficiation is much important, so that the very same material, so that which will then enable us to have a competitiveness market, we need to make sure that there is a fraction, a certain portion that we use for export relationships in terms of the raw materials, but the rest of the percentage, we must make sure that we go through the process of agro-processing, so that in itself will play a pivotal role for the growing of the economy and also creating jobs, in particular to our youth, women and persons with disabilities, which are hard hit in terms of the unemployment. But I think Dr. Labuschagne is doing well at that particular space. The relationship that we are having with the commercial farmers and also the agribusiness, your tomato South Africa, maize South Africa, potato South Africa, we are doing very well in terms of skills development and any other things that will assist our farmers to access the market, or to create rather an enabling environment for our farmers to be able to have access to the market. And in terms of the resolution tracking, as raised by Honorable Gloria, I think the one of the database for the state-owned farms, it has been responded to. Repayment of the Nguni cattle has also been responded to. And the issue of the repayment of the loan, I think that one, it has been responded to. But we have just made sure that there is the issue of equity must apply. It must not just be a blanket system of assisting the farmers. They must categorize them in terms of the commercial farmers and also the emerging farmers, so that at the end of the day, all the farmers must have access to loan the cattle. Because if we just open it as a blanket approach, you'll find that those who are having money, they'll be able to scoop everything, and the emerging farmers will not have the opportunity to get even a single one. So there must be a threshold to say up to this line, you are not allowed to bid as a commercial farmer. They are only reserved for the emerging farmers. The list of the departmental infrastructure or the contractors, that one is not responded to. And I think in the next sitting, we are going to provide this very same projects to you, so that on a regular basis, we then monitor their progress. The issue of SL and Sun, the poor performance of the contractor there, I think for this one, we need to act promptly on that one. The matter is long overdue. We've been writing a letter of default. So this time around, we must just do something. I think we just have to make an appointment with the service contractor or the service provider concerned, together with the HOD, so that we see what is the problem. And then I think in the next portfolio committee, maybe we'll be having a certain response from us, other than maybe we'll be reporting that the project is complete, or rather the contractor's service has been terminated. So we are looking we'll look with for this matter with a critical eye. The issue of the
Yeah, I think this one of the multi-year project for Emmerpan, I didn't get it clear, but the HOD I think will respond to that because I was trying to check with her, but I also did not get it clear, but I think the HOD got it clear. She just forgot to respond to it on the multi-year project for Emmerpan. Yeah, the relationship with officials, the relationship between the officials and the farmers outside the family circles, to say the family circle does not mean you are Mani, Ramwani or Mamgolo, it also applies to the friends. We will also look into that matter, and I should believe that the portfolio committee have got a lot of information that we don't have. If we can just provide us with any information that you know so that we are able to deal with this matter amicably. Because you told us that you even know the politicians who are owning the farmers elsewhere. But
Vice versa.
whether the farmers were, the land was intended to do, the intended position, of course, for the growing, because the main position is to make sure that they expand in terms of production, so that at the end of the day, the inclusive economic growth is realized, and not for them to utilize the land as an entertainment purposes or a holiday house for their kids. We look into that matter with a critical eye. As long as we are having a list here, it will then be able to indicate who is doing what for what purposes. Out of the fourth quarter report, the 91%, the remaining percentage that we did not achieve, we must account for them. It's true, we're going to make sure that even if it can be 1%, it cannot be a drop in the ocean. It has an impact in the lives of our ordinary farmers on the ground. We must make sure that we report accordingly so that we reach the 100% target. On the support given to the farmers, of course, be the financial and the non-financial, I think we are doing well in terms of this, and we are also reporting both to the Treasury and Legislature on the financial and non-financial projects. I think with this one, we are audited on it and we are doing well. We never got an audit query on this one. Over the 6 months period, that one of the unemployed graduates, it has been clarified by the HOD to say out of the 140, we even have an additional 300 from the protocol for the unemployed graduates who are placed in various commercial farmers and of course in some of the small scale farmers, and they're doing quite a good job because most of them they're even doing well in terms of the exit strategy, and we can attest to the good work in the one that we have just visited recently at Philistas Sekhale. Yeah, this is one of the good stories that we can share with you, the product from the unemployed graduate. And that young lady, she called herself the Agri Queen. Going forward, within 5 years, I can tell you that she will have been graduated from a small-scale farmer to a commercial farmer. She's doing very well. And it is not only Sekhale. We have other farmers, and mind you, they are young farmers. The issue of contract management is a serious problem. I think it was as if you were reading my mind before the commencement of this meeting. I was just conscientizing the management, of course, through the HOD about the issue of contract management, not only for the monitoring of the project, but for the entire performance of the department, we need to monitor the issue of contract management, be it the reviewal of policy and any other thing that relates to contract management, so that you are then able to track progress, and if there are bottlenecks that we need to unlock, we need to unlock at that particular stage. So I'm also going to make sure that when we leave here, I'm given the particular person from various departments, of course, consolidated into one through the monitoring and strategy, who are rightfully tasked to look at the issue of performance across the department at large. How do we conscientize farmers on the ground, or the young people on the ground, about the issue of the farmer support and everything? I think this one has been responded to. The utilization, of course, of because we are now on a digital economy, to beef up whatever awareness that we are doing. We have got the website, and when we are talking about the youth, that is that particular space that they are using the gadgets like nobody else. So they have access to everything, starting from the media, print, local papers, the newsletters that you are issuing, the Facebooks, even from ourselves. If we can check from our own good self, members of the portfolio committee, when last did you open the Facebook for the Department of Agriculture, where you are from? Because I don't even see the comments from your good self, or whether you caution us on this and this, so that we respond on that particular space. We don't only wait for the meeting of this nature. We have got many avenues that we can
From now I'm going
communicate to
to
you.
comment MEC.
Yeah.
I'm always watching, but I'm not commenting.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're done with all the questions. And the water rights, I think this one we also, as part of the interdepartmental activities, we are going to make sure that we work closely with the Department of Water and Sanitation, because they are the ones who are issuing the water rights for the farmers. And it's not only on the farmers, because water is used for many purposes. We also experience a problem because of the legacy problem of who was owning that particular space previously. We also experience the challenges in terms of unlocking the water for any other purposes. Hence, we have regressed in terms of the provision of water for consumption of our community members, not only for our farmers, due to the problems arising from the water rights. There are a lot of water catchment, whereby when the water is supposed to be released from the bulk to the reticulation, some of them they are delayed by the issue of the catchment, the water catchment by the owners of the farms. So that one is a process. It's a general problems for all of us to address the issue of basic services that needs water. Yeah, I think we have answered everything that you have asked. Yeah, thank you so much.
Can you go back and flag the agenda item? And thank you very much, MEC, for the response. I hope, Lina, I'm going to sleep, because the honorable members were always on my neck to say, when are they going to respond to us? But of course, we need to work hand in hand and assist each other. Hence, I was saying we must just call a meeting probably next week, where there is no APP, there is no budget, there is no any other document that we are going to get, but also to to make sure that we assist each other in terms of how we must run and assist our communities with regard to the projects, the only mo ntate Maringa o boletse gore ena motho ba mo fang budget o ka re ke ena o la rileng ba seke ba mofa ene e le gore ke ena le santse le ne re botsa re wa e le mofa maybe rena a re tsebe go na le mo go na le 400,000 that is been budgeted for somebody else gona ka kua mara ge e le gore ke ena la rile seke le re tlhalošetšeng ka gore re tlo no ba dipokara se bo re pokela kae o mongwe le o mo pokela lebitleng la gabo so Waterberg
Radipelo kwa Waterberg le ena
Radipelo kwa emisi Radipelo a re mo senye maina lena le mo identify I am undermine a lot. We undermined, the officials were there. We felt very undermined.
Marasi ena Tondani.
What Tondani go excellent science and now I'm grateful and I think Honorable Municipal Tongue ya gore maybe what and science bagana basa qualify because o kgonne go aga ntlo e le gore na ya re pale but ke nagana la ka ba agile because he have been assisted before ka the tšheletenyana ya e dirang a kgona go bona gore ka the assistant ya e fileng ke department a bona gore no commission nka te kagela ntlo because ba ba ntsenyetša nako so what we must deal with ke the contractor on site.
No,
sona le agile ntlo after rena re thomile ya rena le o feditše it's done but the contractor a so fetše
so I once visited the project.
Yes,
and
they are
when I was
different.
there, the project with the
But
contractor
different.
was up and
One
running.
le Baradipelo le o.
Baradipelo a ke mo tsebe.
Wa Baradipelo ke motho a Gauteng ke letsatsantsi. Ke letsatsantsi. But anyhow, we really appreciate your
But maybe
coming.
the chairperson, without interrupting you, on the issue of Zebediela, that because like you have put it correctly, so to say, this is your bread and butter issue, the MEC. I think we are doing with this matter accordingly, and we have tasked the HOD and the department concerned, Dr. Labuskatni, together with the NOJEX one, to say, on a weekly basis, they must give us the report. They must visit the project on a weekly basis and give me the report to check what is happening there.
And we must also visit the Zebediela and
Projects.
the agricultural schools, the two ones. You are Madzibandela and Tombisilika. I can't comment on Tombisilika. I'm always there. It's my place. I can see the progress. But I felt the honorable members must just go and see if there is.
No, I went there. I went to Tombisilika, I went to Madzibandela, and I even intervened because those projects are owned by Public Works. So we also intervened at that space, but unfortunately
MEC,
did not succeed.
is it a norm or all the projects must be done by the public?
More especially the ones that need civil engineering and the like.
Because you don't have engineers. But when I lay a workload there, okay, it's fine, but let me just thank everyone and thank you, the MEC, HOD, for coming to our call. And honorable members, thanks very much. I know it's Friday today, the jukebox is ringing, but some you are coming far, you just want to go home and make sure that you are going to your weddings, you are bearing your own sisters and brothers, but thanks you managed to be in the meeting until this time. And I think that the next item is just, we've got catering outside. Let's eat, it's less expenditure. Regime. And thank you very much for everything, and the meeting stand adjourned.